welcome to Horns Up. And yes, if you're listening to this, you probably know that we are talking to one of heavy metal's living legends, Udo Dirkschneider, on this episode. But I'll be brutally honest here. I haven't really heard a lot of Accept or UDO albums. Peter, what about you?
Balls to the Wall is one of the classics, I guess, you have to kind of listen to. So I think that's the one I've only heard. I don't think I've ever heard any of his solo stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. So both Peter and I thought that it's best not to let this opportunity to talk to metal royalty slip by. And hence we reached out to a dear friend of the podcast and one of the best dudes I know, Ravi Balakrishnan, who joins
Hey,
us all the way from Singapore. And what do you know? We made it work. Ravi, why were you
yep.
excited to be able to talk to Udo? And really,
Oh,
why should metalheads care?
yeah. So, I mean, it's actually quite strange because I'd heard Udo long before I'd heard, or frankly, even heard of Accept. I think it was the Time Bomb album that was doing the rounds in the informal trading circles back in the day. And it was incredibly heavy and fast. It was one of those great, but kind of underrated late 80s and early 90s speed metal albums. I guess Thundersteel by Riot is another example. But on Time Bomb, Udo had really taken the speed metal side to Accept, which you can hear on tracks like Fast Like a Shark and really run with it. And the singing sounded like nothing I'd ever heard. It frankly still sounds like nothing I've ever heard, which is something we'll of course be asking him about in this interview. But yeah, I mean, some landmark heavy metal albums that accept like Balls to the Wall, Restless and Wild, Metal Heart, great fusion of classical guitar soloing with very very balls out heavy metal. Solo discography, which if you're a fan of traditional heavy metal does not disappoint at all, and of course one of the most inimitable singers in metal, so what's not to like?
Yup, you really can't imitate him. So wait one second. Is it right for me to say that Udo, for all that he's done, is still one of the most underrated frontmen in metal as such? And why do you think
Oh,
that's
I'd
the case?
definitely say so. I mean, I think in a sense because he, if you read some of the stuff that he's spoken about previously, and I think his problems with his ex band are fairly well documented. But
Yeah.
apparently, every time Except tried to veer off in a slightly more commercial direction, Udo typically did not want to be a part of that. And I think the first album that he recorded, which I think is called Animal House, if I'm not mistaken, is was apparently going to be the next Accept album, except those guys decided that they wanted to go in a more commercial direction. And so he parted ways with them, and they just gave him the songwriting on that album as a kind of stepping stone for his solo career, which of course was very, very in the traditional heavy metal kind of vein. And I don't think he ever wrote songs with a hit single mindset. So I think that probably explains why he wasn't as popular as some of the other frontmen. I mean, Bruce Dickinson had, I think, even when he went solo, he had something like Tears of the Dragon, which got a fair amount of airplay on MTV back in the day. I don't think any of Udo's songs have ever been that level of mainstream popular.
Yeah. That's a shame. But you know what? This latest album that he's done, oh my god, it's a real banger. It's something really worth talking about. And of course, this opportunity to talk to Udo came up because yes, UDO has a new album out. It's called We Are One. It's a bombastic record that's the result of a collaboration with the official concert band of the German armed forces. And what's really remarkable is the fact that unlike other albums that bring orchestras and metal together, to largely cover old songs. All the 15 songs on VR1 are brand fucking new. What did you make of the record, Ravi?
I thought it was absolutely incredible. I mean, it was way better than I thought it'd be. The thing with Udo is he has this very meat and potatoes approach to metal, and so kind of like I think Anvil, who've also been on the show. Though of course, I think both musically and, of course, vocally. Udo's leagues ahead. But kind of
Thank
like
God for
Campbell,
saying that.
yeah, kind of like Campbell,
No
you
offense to
really,
Steve Lips.
yeah, you really have to be in that, in that very vested in that particular style of music for it to keep delivering for you. I think most casual fans, you pick up one or two albums and, that's an fairly accurate representation of his oeuvre so far. And Year One comes completely out of the left field. I think it's his most ambitious album. And yeah, I was surprised at how upbeat and cheerful it sounded, while at the same time sounding like nothing other than a heavy metal album.
Yeah, what about you, Peter? Did you enjoy
Yeah,
VR1?
yeah, man. It was quite like, compared to the other stuff I listened to, it was way more upbeat. But yeah, it was. I was pleasantly surprised. And one thing I think I was remarking to you when we were having a chat is that it was written like a proper, album, not like taking a
Exactly.
song and making it, with adding orchestral parts and things like that,
Yeah,
just to.
that's such a good point because I mean, very often you just have some strings slapped on in a very very lazy and careless manner, whereas over here most of these songs appear to be composed from ground up to incorporate all of these other instruments, and there are some fairly amazing solo sections from instruments that you wouldn't regularly associate with traditional heavy metal at all. So yeah, it was quite a fantastic experience.
Yep, completely agree with you guys on that. Now, it's a long record. It clocks in over an hour, but it's truly entertaining. And I must say, at no point did I feel like skipping even a single song or even a single part as such. So that's how much I liked it. Anyways, let's jump into the interview. Here's Udo Dirkschneider. Welcome to Horns Up, the heavy metal living legend, Udo. Udo, congratulations on VR1.
Thank you very much, and then welcome. Hello.
Awesome. So, Udo, it's not the first time that you worked with the official concert band as such of the German Armed Forces, but it's the first time that this collaboration has produced an album with all new songs.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen many musicians run classical interpretations of their back catalog, of older songs. So why did you decide to come up with entirely new compositions?
Yeah, that was the main thing. And when we decide to make an album together, that we would just do it with new songs. I mean, I know that a lot of bands did it with old back catalogs. And we said, no, if we do something like this, we do completely new songs, write new songs. And and so we start working on songs then. And also we had already in our mind that it's not a normal UDO album. It will be an album together with an orchestra. And that was also, very important during the songwriting.
Were there any guidelines you had to keep in mind while composing for this collaboration? Because now that you have like 60-piece orchestra at your disposal, right?
Yeah, that is like over a little bit over 60 people in this orchestra. Yeah, but the whole process was like we start writing songs, and so then we had a meeting. We had around, let's say, 30 songs, not finished ones, ideas, demo wise. So, and then we had a meeting together with the orchestra, especially with the two guys that are doing all the arrangements for the orchestra. So, and then we were sitting together, and then they said, okay, this song fits this song, this song, this song, this song, this song. So, and then, we said, okay, then you start doing some arrangements. And of course, in the beginning, we also wasn't, we are not really sure if they're coming up with the right thing, So, and then we get the first arrangement, and that was like, wow, and then we knew this is definitely the thing what we were looking for. And in the beginning, they was a little bit shy, like, and then they're coming up with, oh, can we change it here? We can change it there. I said, yeah, go ahead. So, and then we start working on all the songs together. And yeah, it took nearly a year, for doing the right arrangements. And then in the end, the recording stuff, what happened.
So, Udo, the band has always been known for very, very traditional heavy metal, extremely, forceful, powerful heavy
Hmm.
metal. How
Hmm.
do you think your audience will react to some of the more atypical elements on this album? For instance, I think Neon Diamond, you have a saxophone solo. There's a song where you even rap a few lines that sounds almost
Yeah,
like rap or funk. So,
yeah.
how do you think that's going to go down with your audience who's known you for, more
Let
traditional heavy metal?
I mean, I don't have let's say the good thing is about this album, or let's say a different way. If we do a normal UDO album, we are in a way we have some limits. We cannot go so this way or this way, so the people expect something, yeah, UDO. So and but with this album, that is completely different. It's not a normal UDO album. That was we are completely free. We can do whatever we want. So that was also a very good thing about this album, to see, to go also in different ways. Doing this and this and this, especially what you mentioned, the Neon Diamond. With the saxophone. I mean, also with Here We Go Again, it's funky, it's a little bit rap in there. And so, I mean, we will see. I mean, the most of the people, they know this is not a normal UDO album, but I was reading also some stuff on Facebook and Instagram, that the people say, oh, this is a completely different UDO album. But they will see that it's not a UDO album. The next UDO album, we're already working on that. It's coming next year. So, but this is a completely different thing, and I think when the album is out, I think then the people will realize this is not a normal UDO album. And so far, I can say we only have good response on this album, and we will see when the album is coming out what the fans doing, and see. And also, I think also with this album, we will reach a different audience, so not the normal heavy metal audience. There will be also some different kind of audience.
I love how bombastic, regal, over the top, and positive this entire album is. Typically most metal collaborations with orchestras, they result in using the symphony to bring up or heighten the darker aspects of the sound. But you've
Hmm.
chosen this, fantastical, upbeat, and frankly very entertaining route. Why take this kind of an approach?
The thing, 15 years ago, or maybe a little bit more, I was thinking already with Stefan Kaufmann when he was in UDO, we want to do a classic album, with an orchestra. Everybody was doing that. Scorpions, Metallica, Rage, and a lot of bands did it. And then we start working together with an symphony orchestra from Czech Republic, and that was too soft, that was like, no, that was also on top, that was like what you said, most of the bands at this time, they was using the back catalog and put something on there, make it a little bit bigger or whatever, so. And then, yeah, I mean, and then that was happened when I was doing the Steelhammer album, for this guy who's doing the producer and the sound guy. He was at this time the member of the Symphonic Brass Orchestra. So, and then they had a concert in what nearly Christmas, and then I said, okay, come on, I want to have a look, uh, let's see what they're doing. So, and then I came into was in a church, and then I was like, okay, what kind of music they would play now? March music, Christmas songs, or whatever? No, and then they start playing like songs of Michael Jackson, Queen, ABBA, and stuff like that. And the sound of this symphonic brass orchestra, without violins, that was so heavy. And then that was the point I said, if I do something classic, then with this. Now a lot of people asking, oh, why you are choosing a military orchestra? It was not the military orchestra. I was not looking for military orchestra, but they had the sound. That was the thing. So, and then I said, yeah. we start to make a collaboration and blah, 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 blah. So, and here we go after two good shows, really good shows that we did together. So, but at this time when we did these two shows together with the orchestra, that we also was using accept songs and UDO songs, but already with different arrangements, So, but then after the last show what we did, and we get this idea to do an album together, we said, okay, if we do something like that, we don't want to use the back catalog. We need new songs, to bring this together. Yeah, and I think it's organic, What it's yeah. So what can I say? I'm really happy, and that was in a way, yeah, in a dream came true in a way, And in the beginning I was not really sure is that really working, but it was also interesting in this orchestra. There are, let's say, 60% are really, not really, we don't want to say rock and roll fans, heavy metal fans, but rock fans, They knew who I am, they was listening to Accept and also UDO, and then they knew, okay, and then it fits together, and I'm really, really happy with the result of the whole album, Very interesting.
Terrific. So, Udo, were you a fan of classical music when you were growing up? I mean, in a few of your previous interviews, you mentioned a lot of the rock and metal inspirations that you had, but were there any favorite composers or classical pieces of music that you really liked when you were growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I like Tchaikovsky. I like very much Bach, with the organ, stuff like that. I mean, Ravel, it's really good. And yeah, I mean, classic always like, it's like, and now I knew more about this, that when we was working together, maybe that's a better way to explain this. The How they create atmospheres with harmonies, This is very interesting. That was also a thing what we was learning with this album, how they do this. And they said, yeah, can we change this harmony here? And then this comes better out here and this and this. Very interesting how they do this, There was really also a lot of things we was learning of the whole process of this album. Yeah, so I mean, I knew already a long time that classic music just create atmospheres, like that's the whole thing. And I think a lot of metal bands there are listen to classic music, to all this like how you create an atmosphere and stuff like that. But how they do this, that was like learning stuff now with this album, So very good.
Yeah.
So, Udo, the album kicks off with the track Pandemonium, which is a clear position against society's right wing as such. It's a topic that's truly resonating in today's socio-political and economic climate. Why include this kind of a lyrical concept onto your album?
Yeah, that was also a point when we was talking about how we want to do this album, what kind of message, So and that was also important for the military guy to do something against the right wings, and also what is happening in our world, I mean, a lot of things are, let's say, going wrong. Like take the Amazonas, they're burning down the woods there. This is our lungs for the earth. It's just like. Also, a lot of political stuff. Big Brother is watching you, Also, like especially for Neon Diamonds, it's like, if you're watching TV, all this appetizing, you have to look like beautiful, you have to look like Apollo or whatever, It's like, using this perfume or using this and this and this, all this stuff, they are not so important. The most important thing is that we're taking care of our Earth, I mean, we don't have any planet B. I mean, maybe in 200 years, maybe they found something somewhere out there in the universe. But at the moment, that we have to stay together, And it also doesn't matter if you are black, white, yellow, red, or whatever. It's like we are all humans, And we have to take care of our planet instead of killing each other, doing wars or whatever, And then we have to take care, I think, of our planet about for the next generation, that they can still live on this planet, And this is all in this, in this lyrics, the whole "we are one." You know, we have to live together and stay together and taking care of this planet, you know, instead of I don't know what, you know, and that's the whole message on this album, you
Awesome.
know.
Awesome. Okay. So, Udo, we'd quickly like to ask you to play a song from this new album. Which one do you think represents the album the best?
Ooh, that's a question. I mean, so far I know that a lot of things are coming together in the song "Future is the Reason Why." There's
Lovely.
nearly everything in there, you know, choirs, different stuff, Russian elements, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in there. I think that's the best song to show the people how this album will be.
so you arguably have one of the most distinctive voices in heavy metal, and yet there are not too many people who've tried to clone your style. Like, there have been other vocalists like Bruce Dickinson and Rob Halford, and there are lots of singers who sound like them. But at least as far as we know, there's no one who sounds like you. So a couple of questions. How did you zero in on your style? And why do you believe that, you sound so unique and that no other vocalists have kind of tried to sound like you?
Oh yeah, let's say I'm really lucky to have a unique voice. I mean, this is like, yeah, I mean, definitely there are singers out there that maybe can sing better melodies than I am. But if you are unique, it's like the same like an actor in a movie. Some actors that really have a character, and that's the same like what Dio, like Rob Halford, like Bruce Dickinson. There's a character and they have a unique voice, and that's in a way the secret, or let's say an honor to have this. And yeah, I'm really lucky, and yeah, I'm in a way I do nothing with my voice. The only thing, I stopped now smoking for 15 years or 16 years. But the rest, I go on stage and never warm up. I do it, and that's it. It's I don't know. I mean, I think I'm also really lucky with my voice. I mean, I know a lot of colleagues in this business. They have some problems with her voice. Yeah, but I'm fine. I'm really happy, and I think I'm also really lucky.
We've always wanted to ask you a question like this. UDO is spelled with periods in between each letter. Typically, it would mean that Udo is an abbreviation. Is there a full form to it?
It's like when I started doing my own stuff. That was like, of course, Udo. It's my name, but to make it more like a logo, we put some dots in between, and you can say United Democratic Organization if you want.
Nice.
We are one. That's the message
Yeah,
from United Democratic
we are one.
Organization.
Yeah, definitely. That's we are one. Yeah, I mean, what can I say?
Awesome. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
this was an absolute pleasure. Horns up.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.
Bye. United Democratic Order. Did you guys know that?
I didn't.
Nope. I didn't. You kind of said it in sync.
So here's a very divergent question. If there was a UN for heavy metal, a United Nations kind of a body for heavy metal, at the moment, who would you elect as its president? First name that comes to mind and why? Ravi.
First name that comes to mind? I'll pass. But the first names that are coming to mind are very inappropriate ones. So,
Hey, it could be for all the wrong reasons. I mean,
Varg. But no, seriously. Yeah, let me answer that in a non facetious kind of way. I'd probably go with either Bruce Dickinson or Biff Byford from Saxon, because they've generally been pretty terrific people, and they've got the discography and the chops. So yeah, and they seem to be very in the at least seem to be very, very open to different people and cultures and things like that. And unlike Varg, they seem to actually celebrate multiculturalism to an extent. So yeah, probably one of those guys.
All right. Peter, what about you? If there was a United Nations of heavy metal, who would be its president? What's the first name that comes to your mind?
Okay, Max Cavalera for some reason.
Oh yeah, of course.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good
I wish I'd picked that one.
Yeah. But I don't know, man.
That's a better
I don't know.
candidate.
I think like he would be kind of more representative, and I mean, whatever you think about current day Sepultura or Soulfly, but you know what, he still got that, I guess.
Oh yeah, um, they have to hire a speechwriter though, because
Yeah, true.
otherwise the speeches would all be the "I don't give a fuck, you don't give a fuck," verbal conjugation kind of
Yeah.
approach to lyrical writing. So yeah.
Okay, all right.
What about
Okay.
you? Who'd you
Yeah.
pick?
So, I know who will be the person who will, like, be the uh, front runner, popular person who puts in all his effort to kind of try and get elected to that post. That would be Rob Flynn from Machine Head.
Oh,
But
of
nobody
Oh
will
yeah,
end
yeah.
up.
course.
But nobody will end up picking him.
Yeah,
I would have loved to have been able to pick Lemmy for this position, but
yeah.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
yeah,
unfortunately. So I don't know. I'm guessing I'd go with I'd go with Rob Halford because I think, again, as a brand ambassador for metal, he's right up there, and he ticks off all the other modern issues that the world is dealing with too. Like, he was one of the first people to talk about the need to wear masks, etc. And plus, he's fucking Rob Halford, man. What else do you want?
oh, of course.
True.
Yeah, but if you think about it, I'd say uh, a lot of the deep cuts in the Soulfly discography uh, probably are more ambitious and world music-y than anything that the guys that I mentioned ever came up with. So,
Yeah, that's true.
like I was so pleasantly surprised by Prophecy, where towards the latter half of the album, it just kind of either evolves or devolves depending on your point of view. I absolutely love that part into this completely trippy new age, uh, almost world music kind of uh, segue. So yeah, I I think I'll change my mind and I'll like prop Max up along with Peter here.
Anyways, on that note, let's wrap this thing up for today. Ravi, thanks once again. Thanks a ton for
Oh
making
yeah,
some time for this.
thanks. This was great fun.
Yeah, man.
And
Thanks. Always great having you on the show, Ravi.
And
Yep.
for those listening, yeah, if you'd like to talk to someone in the heavy metal universe, including us, well, just reach out. It's honsapod.com online, at honsapod on Twitter. I'm at Asmawani.
I'm at Trend Crusher.
Ravi, do you want to? Or should we just let it slide again?
I'm all right.
Ravi's all right. So till the next time, horns up.
On up, guys.
Yeah, horns up.